Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now this is another spotlight video and this time it's on my favourite Scottish band of all time, the Proclaimers. Now the Proclaimers are Craig and Charlie Reid, two twin brothers that were born in 1962 in Fife in Scotland, and they're known mostly for their nerdiness and their thick Scottish accents. They came to force in the 1980s, the late 1980s, with the song Letter from America, and most people know them from the single I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles, but they have released about 11 albums that a lot of people don't know about, and every single Proclaimers studio album has actually charted. But I think they're brilliant. They're one of the most unpretentious bands ever, and whenever you buy a Proclaimers album you know what you're getting. So they don't vary that much, but they're great singers, they're great harmonizers, they're really good songwriters, and they vary the songs a little bit. You know, you get your love songs, you get your upbeat numbers, but they can be quite scathing in their lyrics, and they can be very comical in their lyrics as well. So a couple of their biggest fans are David Tennant, Doctor Who number whatever, and Matt Lucas, who actually directed one of their videos for Spinning Around in the Air. Yeah, fantastic band. And so we'll go through some of the records, I'll go through the albums, and then I'll show some of the singles from those albums. Well, what I've got. Okay, so anyway, the first single they released was Throw the Hour Away in 1987, and this is a full acoustic number. And this is like a statement of intent. This is saying we shall sing in our own accents, and that's the way it's going to be, whether you like it or not. So, but this is a really good song, and it came from their debut album, which is called This Is the Story. Now this is fully acoustic apart from one song, which is the band version of the next single I'll show in a minute, called Letter from America, even though there is an acoustic version on this as well. This is really good. It's so refreshing to hear something like this in 1987. You just didn't hear it. You don't have those that 80s production. This could have been recorded in 1975, could have been recorded in 1965. It's such a good, strong album, and great songs like Beautiful Truth, which I've always loved, Sky Takes the Soul. They are very soulful, really soulful, and they do let it rip whenever they're singing. Craig is the main singer, and Charlie would be more the backup singer, although Charlie does take the vocals on their second single, which is Letter from America, and this got to number 3 in the charts. And this is an absolutely fantastic song, and it's a fan favourite, and I think most people actually do know this. They probably didn't know it's actually the Proclaimers, but if you heard it you'd recognise it. But then another single was taken from the album, and it is Make My Heart Fly, and they added instruments to this for the single version, and this turns it into an absolutely beautiful Celtic sounding song. But it only managed to get to number 63 in the charts, which is a shame because it's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, their debut album, This Is the Story, really good, hit number 43, but still it charted. Okay, in 1988 they released their second album, which is Sunshine on Leith, and this got to number 6 in the charts. Now this is their most famous album, and whenever I did my top albums of the 1980s, I put this as my third favourite album of the 80s. It is that good. Now there was 3 singles taken from it. The first one is I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles, which has been in about 15 different movies. I'm not exaggerating, it probably is about 15. Most famously it was in Benny and June in 1993, and the single then hit top 10 in America because of it. I think it was their only success. But yeah, everybody knows this, and I love it. I've never got fed up with it. The second single is the beautiful Sunshine in Leith, which is one of the most heartwarming songs you'll ever hear. The lyrics are gorgeous. And the third one is probably one of the catchiest songs you'll ever hear, and it's I'm On My Way. I love that sleeve, the cartoon sleeve of the guys, really good. And this is really catchy. It got onto the Shrek soundtrack as well, Shrek 1. Brilliant song. At times I do get a little bit fed up with it because I've played this so many times, but it is really, really good. And the album itself, as I say, one of Proclaimer's best. Most people would cite this as their best. It's actually not. It's my second favourite. I'll show you my favourite as we go down the line. But some really good songs on it, like Cap in Hand, Come On Nature, I love. It's Saturday Night, which I think is hilarious. It's about drinking and actually scratching people's cars with your keys. And Oh Jean is one of the biggest sing-along songs you'll get as well. Fantastic album, and as I say, it got to number 6. Then we heard nothing of them for a couple of years, and in 1990 they released this EP, which is the King of the Road EP, and yes, it's the Roger Miller song, and this actually got to number 9 in the charts. There's a good version of Long Black Veil on this, which I've heard Johnny Cash doing, but the highlight of this is the first song on the second side, which is Lulu Selling Tea, which I think is hilarious, and it's a really catchy little number. So King of the Road EP, 1990. Then in 1994 they released the single Let's Get Married, and it's fine. It's a good Proclaimer song. It's not my favourite, and it came from their third album, which they struggled with. I think they were having a bit of writer's block at the time, which took so long for them to finish it, and it's hit the highway. This is an LP reissue. I first bought this in '94 on CD. The first side is really good. The More I Believe is really excellent. Shout Shout is as catchy a Proclaimer song as you'll get, and The Light is a beautiful song. But 2 other singles were released from that album, and the first one was the very acoustic What Makes You Cry, which I think the vocals of Craig on this are brilliant. And then they released a cover version of, I think it's Otis Redding, who did These Arms of Mine, which is featured on the album as well, and this is absolutely stunning. Brilliant song. But Hit the Highway got to number 8 in the charts. It did really well. The second side maybe not quite as good, although there is some really excellent songs like Your Childhood and the very witty Don't Turn Out Like Your Mother. So yeah, good album. It's mid-table Proclaimers for me, and it's got, as I say, number 8 in the charts. Then we heard nothing of them. During that time between 1994 and their next release in 2001, they did release some soundtrack songs. They did Get Ready from Dumb and Dumber, and they did Bye Bye Love from the Bye Bye Love film in 1995. Now, I've always said that the Proclaimers are the Scottish Everly Brothers, so it was good to hear them do that, and they do it just exactly like the Everly Brothers version. And in 1997 they did 2 songs for the Slab Boys film, and they are Maybe Baby and Chuck Berry's No Particular Place to Go. But apart from that, heard nothing. And in 2001 this came out, and this is Persevere. Now, there was a single from this called There's a Touch, which is not bad. This is a good solid album, but the problem with this one is that there's no real highlight on this. They're all very good songs, but there's usually, with every Proclaimers album, there's an overly exceptional one, but there's not on this. But there's still good songs like A Land Fit for Zeros, One Too Many, Scotland's Story, and Act of Remembrance is a gorgeous song. But it is a good album, but it got to number 61 in the chart, so it didn't do too well. I didn't even know this had been released. I was actually at a CD fair one day. It was actually CD, not record, CD fair, just goes to show. And I saw this being displayed, and I said, when did this come out? And your guy said, oh, it's a new album. I bought it. But yeah, pretty good. And then in 2002 they released a Greatest Hits and the Best Of, and this actually did well and got to number 5 in the charts. Now, the eagle-eyed of you will know that this is the reissue version with a slightly different cover, because there's an extra song on it which we'll come to later on. But this just gathers up most of the songs from the first 3 albums, the first 4 albums, but it doesn't include the band version of Make My Heart Fly, which is a shame. And also in 2003 this cheap CD came out called Finest, and this is worth it because there's some B-sides on this that you just can't get anywhere else. Okay, the next album to come out was also in 2003, and this is Born Innocent, and this only got to number 70. Now this is their most rocking album, it's their rawest album, it's their most unproduced album, but it is brilliant. It's an absolutely fantastic album, and it's up there in the top 4 for me anyway. I Should Have Been Loved is great, Hate My Love is great, You Meant It Then, absolutely fantastic. Deirdre is the funny one, it really is really good, and He's Just Like Me, 5 O'Clock World is a really strong album. As I say, with the Proclaimers, you're not getting anything new. They do what they do, and they do it really well. Then in 2005 this album comes out, and it's Restless Soul, and this only gets to number 74 in the charts, their lowest charting to date, and unfortunately this is their best album. This should have been a top 10 album. I think this is brilliant. A little bit of soul involved in this with When Love Struck You Down and Restless Soul. Every Day I Try is the catchy one. That's Better Now is such a beautiful, beautiful ballad. I'm Gone is a typical Proclaimer song. DIY is rather scathing in a very catchy way. She's Brighter is really, really good, where the children are brighter than the parents, and it's an excellent song. I love this, and this is one of my favourite albums of the 2000s. Restless Soul, but I say only got to number 74. In 2007, I'll go back to this greatest hits one again, and they released I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles with Matt Lucas and Peter Kay for children in need, and it's a comedy version, and it's I'm Gonna Roll 500 Miles. It's on this, and that's why I bought this one for that extra track, because I never bought the single. It works well with the video. I don't think it works well as a single, but as I say, the video is very good, but it got the song to number 1 in the chart, so they have had a number 1. It's just a pity it wasn't the original version. But 2007, I'm Gonna Be. And also in 2007 they released the album Life With You, and there was a single from it, the title track, and it actually got to number 58 in the charts. This to me is their weakest album, even though it got to number 13 in the charts. The reason being, it starts off well with Life With You, which is a brilliant song, really uplifting. In Recognition, I think, is a rather scathing song about the Queen's Awards and the hypocrisy of people receiving them. And New Religion is also a really good song. So the first 3 songs are really good, but then it falls a bit flat for me, and it's alright, it's not bad, it's just I don't think the songwriting is quite up to par, and I would put this as their least, even though it's still a good album. In 2009 they released Notes and Rhymes, and now this is an improvement for me. Notes and Rhymes is a great rockabilly number, and Like a Flame is one of the most beautiful ballads, absolutely gorgeous, and the rest of the songs are just really, really good. Love Can Move Mountains is really good. Shadows Fall, I know, a couple of cover versions in this, but it's still really strong album. Also in 2007 they released a digital only single called 17, which you can't get on any physical format whatsoever apart from a promo single. It wasn't included on the greatest hits or the greatest hits to be shown, but it's okay, it's live, and the rest of the tracks are live, all acoustic, but nothing overly special. And in 2012 they released Notes and Rhymes, and this is a really strong album. It has the fantastic Spinning Around in the Air, which features Matt Lucas in the video. He also directed it. Really, really good. Whatever You Want is, or Whatever You've Got, sorry, I think it's Status Quo there, is a really strong opener. And then you have the song Dance With Me, which is one of the most tender ballads you'll ever hear, and it's absolutely stunning. It's only 2 minutes and 58 seconds long, but it's beautiful. This is a really strong album. Then in 2013 the dreadful happened. Sunshine on Leith was turned into a rom-com. It was the Proclaimers version of Mamma Mia, and the soundtrack was issued. I haven't heard it, I haven't watched the film either, I don't want to, but apparently it's actually quite good. It did well in Britain. I don't know if it went anywhere else in the world, but the soundtrack is like Mamma Mia. It's different people singing their songs, but I'd pass on it. And then the next one up is in 2015, and is Let's Hear It for the Dogs, and this is a strong album. This got to number 26. I forgot to give you some of the other chart positions. Like Comedy got to 31 and Notes and Rhymes got to 30. This has improved again, number 26. Really good album. You Built Me Up is a wonderful single. The song In My Home is actually fantastic. It's a really beautiful, very heavily produced song, but it's gorgeous. And there's not a bad song off this. Through Him is good. Then Again is a great song. What School is one of their social commentary type songs. Excellent. And there's a picture of the two guys. They're two mean looking sods really, but they're really, really good. I've seen them live 3 times. I've seen them in 2019, 2012 and 2007, and they just get on with it. They come on with their jeans and t-shirts, sing their hearts out, and it's a really good show. This is a very, very strong album. This is up there as well. Let's Hear It from the Dogs, number 26 in 2015. And the last one to date is Angry Cyclist, and this got to number 17 in 2018, and this is another sound album. Again, the big highlight for me on this is a song called Streets of Edinburgh, and there's a video for it. Absolutely beautiful. Looted is hilarious. Angry Cyclist is really, really good. You Make Me Happy, The Hours Between. It's just the Proclaimers doing what they do well. Good crafted songs, sing them well, harmonise well, well produced, excellent stuff. So yeah, the Proclaimers, my favourite Scottish band, absolutely love them. They have been releasing constantly throughout the 21st century. What they're known for really is their 80s stuff, but between 1987 and 2001 they only released 3 albums, and the rest have been 21st century, so they found their songwriting skills again, thank goodness, and hopefully there's another album coming very soon, because it's usually only 2 to 3 years before each album is released, and it's 3 years since the last one, so hopefully we'll get another one. Okay, that's me for now. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll leave a couple of links for some of the Proclaimer songs below for you to take a look at. But I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to have another video soon. Okay now, bye bye.